Hi, welcome to 12 Days of Destination Wedding Planning Tips. Today is day 5 and we're going to talk about the wedding package. This is one of the most important things after finding your destination and your resort is the destination wedding package, because that's going to be where you're going to spend a bulk of your time deciding how you're going to plan your wedding. So just quickly, each resort brand or each resort have a different wedding package, so it's always good to me to look at a few of them just to understand what each resort offers before you make a final decision. Even if I think you hone in on the resort you want, do a little digging and look at other wedding packages to see what they offer. But within most wedding package, they're going to offer you the 3 basic things: a ceremony, a cocktail hour, and a reception, 3 or 4 hours depending on what the packages offer. Some of them are going to be very basic, like you're going to have enough. They're going to offer enough that you can get married, so they'll have a sound system for you to, when you walk down the aisle, to do your vows. If you're having a legal wedding, you have to pay additional for the filing and documentation you need for that. And then at a cocktail, they'll have past hors d'oeuvres and a bar for you for an hour, no entertainment. And for reception, you'll have 3 hours. It could be a sit-down dinner or a buffet, depending on what the package is offering you. And if you want to upgrade, then there's an upcharge for that. And most packages start between 10 to 20 people, so depending on how many people you have coming to your wedding, that is what the basic package is going to start at. And each additional person will have a cost to that, and usually that could be anywhere from $80 to $150 depending on the wedding package. So if the package costs, say, $5,000 and you have to have another 20 people times $100, that's another $2,000, and that's just the basic. So that's what's normally in a wedding package. The extra is what I always talk about, you have to think about, because the extra can be twice as much as a wedding package. If you're going to get married, you might want some kind of entertainment at your ceremony when you're walking down the aisle, whether a violinist or someone playing, or I always tell people you really don't need that. If you have music that you want to walk down the aisle to, they'll play that music on the equipment that they provide. For cocktail hour, if you can afford it, I would say have something there, a mental band, something to entertain your guests while they're having cocktail, and then you'll spend more money with entertainment at the reception, because most people like to dance at a reception, and I always say you really need some kind of entertainment, whether it's a DJ or a live band. So that is something I would suggest, and those things cost extra. They're never included in the wedding package, so that's just something you have to think about. I mean, somebody just had a party at a resort, and just the DJ alone was $1,800. So the cost can add up, the extra cost, and then we're talking about photography, videography could be at least $3,000 to do that. So, and if you want a lighted dance floor, they could start at $800 if you want flowers. So these are the things that are the additions to the wedding package that you need to be aware of, and not just look at the wedding package when you're looking at a hotel, because you really need to know all the pieces that go together to give you that wedding that you want. So these are things I was saying you need to look at when you're looking at the wedding package, and also just look to see if it says private or semi-private, because those are 2 different things. A semi-private reception means that your reception might be in a restaurant, in a private section of the restaurant, and if that happens, you really can't have music there because you're in a restaurant. You can't disturb the other guests that's there. So think about that, and you might have to pay extra to get it, to privatize it for yourself. So these are things you really need to look at and be careful that you're reading it correctly, because you might think you have a private reception and it's not private, or most time the cocktail is private. And if you have it on the beach, just make sure where it's located on the beach that is semi-private and people are not walking by while you're saying your vows. So these are things you need to look at. And I would tell anyone, I think I'm going to cover that in one of the other tips, is that if you can, do a site inspection. So if you've never been to a location before and you think this is a location you might want for your wedding, try to see if you can go there before to make that final decision, because a lot of things are going to be out of your hand and you have to depend on the wedding department to execute your vision for you. But if you're someone who likes to see touch and feel, I would say if you can do a site inspection is to go to the resort, to meet with the wedding department, do a walkthrough of the location, taste the food, see the venue, and feel comfortable that you're gonna have that wedding that you always want, and they'll execute it based on what you want. So these are things I said are things to look at when you're looking at your wedding package. Tomorrow we'll talk about group contract.